Chase, it is time to combine something that you love.
Okay.
Mechs.
Anime. Oh,
Anime.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
And strategy.
Oh, okay. I like these things. Yeah.
We're taking a break from Portal because a game that we quick looked, a demo of, called Ignited Steel, is out, and we're going to play it tonight. It fits the mold, right? The OG mold of Casual Mondays.
Absolutely.
What we cut our teeth on, what our friendship has grown to, what I've made you proud by doing, which is becoming a strategist. And I'm playing one with mechs, even all the anime, all the time.
It cannot get better than that.
It cannot get better than this. I'm going to set the stage briefly. If you are new to this game, there's a demo you can play, as I mentioned, that's available on Steam. This game's only on Steam right now. We have a quick look over on youtube.com/casualhour, which plays through a handful of those first few missions. We are mid-run, because I did not want to start a new run. As you can see here, we're in Sector 2, so we're not terribly far into it. But if you're watching this stream and you're like, hey, what did I miss out on? Go watch our quick look and play the demo. And I think that you'll be in a good spot.
And I think they've announced, the developer, I can't remember the developer's name, but I think they've announced that this game, Ignited Steel, is eventually going to come to consoles.
Yeah.
But they just don't have a date for any of that stuff yet.
Correct. I think it's going to be on everything.
I believe that is the case.
And I don't know if it's been verified for Steam Deck at this point. More to come on that, I'm sure. I don't think I can... Can I go back? Oh, I can go back. So I can show you the path I took on this sector. So this is borrowing heavily from two games that we're fans of here in the show. One would be Into the Breach. The other would be FTL. Same developer there for both of those. But on this path, this is a run-based game. We're in the middle of a run. I took this upper path because I wanted to get some combat down, get some new weapons, level up my pilots, and you can see I've actually unlocked two of the more, let's call them named pilots versus these unknown generic pilots, and they come with their own set of pre-installed or preloaded buffs that you get on top of the things.
This is like Into the Breach. Like it's incredible how many things we can point to and just go like, oh, this is kind of Into the Breach, which isn't a bad thing. Like you're taking from what I would think is the best game of that genre, and you're going, what if we made one of those and make it pretty much exactly like that? And I'm like, okay, I'm down. Let's do it.
I'll make it a little bit bigger here. I don't know where to put our faces. I moved this over to the right side of the screen. We're traditionally over on the left. I thought it might be easier to have us on the right side tonight. So anyway,
okay.
You can see that there's certain things here. I don't know if I can get a better readout on what these tooltips are. So Eddie, I think is this how you say his name? Eddie. This is one of the people that I've unlocked. He comes with the ability to do 50% extra damage to enemies adjacent to him. Like that's just there, ready to go.
Seems great.
If I change pilots, I can't change them here after we finish this boss fight and move on to Sector 3, we can change our pilot loadout. So right now I've got these different pilots, and you can see that this one's a level 3 and there's two things on them. And I've picked these out. So I added Tinkerer and I've added the Researcher to these. Same thing over here. So Gunslinger, I've got a Gunslinger on this one, but I've also got Berserker. And this one's pretty nasty. One of the mechanics in the game, one of the main mechanics in the game is this overheat. And so when you're overheated, you're going to be doing more damage output, but you're also going to be taking more damage input, and you're self-inflicting that. This here reduces that by 75%. So it's a pretty broken stat, in my opinion. Really lets you overpower how you would do some things. But we'll talk more about that. You can come back to your hangar anytime in between these runs. I'm actually at a shop right now. And you'll see a few of these here.
You keep going. Stuff's going on around my apartment, not in the apartment, but I'm going to turn off my camera real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You just keep on playing the game.
I'm going to keep playing the game. All right, Chase. So as Chase is out and about, man around town, I will point out again that I've just been taking this upper path here. We are up to a boss battle. I've got 3 mechs that I can deploy, and we can do some interchanging there and some customization on them as well. The hangars are a place that you can heal up. You can sell some goods. You can buy some goods. There are different levels that you can grab here, as well as support or primary weapons. So each one of your mechs has 3 attributes that you'll be looking to upgrade: core, primary, and secondary weapons. And you can really do some pretty crazy builds. Like if I wanted to build a support mech that was focused on healing, I could do that. If I wanted to have a pretty aggressive tank build, I can do that as well. Mobility is another thing. You can pick up these contracts here, and they'll do certain things like use the support equipment 10 times during the next battle, and you'll get 10% less AP cost per movement, which not bad, pretty good, but I don't know if I want to do a lot of support stuff there. I mean, I could. It's not a terrible amount, but I'm going into a boss fight, so we might hold off. I'm going to exit the station. We're going to see what happens. Like I said, we're mid-run. We're at the end of Sector 2 here, so I'm going to fire this up. Let me know what enemies we're going to be up against. There is a bounty, and looks like we'll be getting some support options. These are things that we'll get at the end of it, so we can pick out new weapons if we need to. So we're going to check this out. I like the look of this game quite a bit. Let me make sure that my voice is coming through. Yeah, that sounds good.
Hi.
Hi. Everything okay?
It's just a perfect storm of bullshit going on here. There's a baby in the apartment above me that's screaming its head off. There are sirens going on outside. There are people lighting up their jazz cigarettes in the apartment next to me.
A little jazz tobacco.
It's a great time. My building's not on fire or anything though, so I guess we're good.
Well, speaking of being on fire.
Yeah, these overheat mechanics. This is like the special. So I would say, like this game. Well, as we've mentioned, and maybe you said this when I was off for a bit, but like this game has so much Into the Breach in it, but it feels like this is the one mechanic that it's kind of taking something unique, or maybe even from something like a different mech game. I know other mech games, other strategy mech games have overheat mechanics and different things you can do with that. But the way this game uses overheat is a pretty unique style gimmick to it that I think gives it a lot of legs and makes me not just want to play Into the Breach every time I look at this. It makes me think, oh, maybe I'd like to play this too.
Yeah, and I think that this game, it's got its own style for sure. It doesn't riff off the style as far as visuals go, and there are some mechanics that we're going to be playing around with here on this one. We've got 2 bosses here, Chase. We got Vulcan and Boreas, I guess, on the battlefield, and so I don't know if these are going to disappear over time, but if I were to put fire down, it'll only last a handful of turns. But considering that we're already in an environment with it, I think it's going to be permanent.
Okay.
So you will take damage, but you will also heat up, and you can cool down. So like there's a trade-off here that we can start to play around with as we're moving our mechs around on this. So we're just going to start to place. And sometimes when you get into certain boards, you'll have areas all around that you can deploy. Here we don't have a whole lot yet. I don't know what these movement patterns are going to be yet for this enemy type. So we're going to get into it. We're going to see what's happening here. We've got 11 turns to kill both of these enemies, and there's some pretty healthy health bars up there. The one thing I was curious about.
So again, Into the Breach style, you don't necessarily need to kill these units to finish the level. You really just more or less need to survive the turn limit. Or will you fail if you don't kill these guys?
This is going to be a fail state for this one.
Okay.
So we have to kill the special units. This is funny. I'm just going to call this out. I was wondering if this jet would take damage from the ground beneath it, but it's a jet with legs.
Yeah, obviously. Which is, we'll take it. So it's our move here. I'm sorry. Does your jet not have legs?
No, unfortunately it doesn't, which is a bummer.
Weird. Wow, that's your problem.
There's 3 things that you can do with each mech. Movement, of course, and you can see that by the blue tiles. And then you've got your attack radius. I've got my secondary attack that I can select, and that will show you your pattern. And then there is a cooldown. also. So if I am starting to overheat, I can cool down, and I can even tag that in at the end of this progress bar. So we're going to be filling that up here um, as we move around. And currently, I'm going to play it a bit safe, Chase, just because I don't know what to expect yet
Okay.
on the movement of the other enemies. Bottom right corner, you can keep an eye on that next to our execute actions. You're going to see what the environment's doing to the mechs. So this does deal damage. It does decrease heat at the start of each turn, but it will take away while we're on that. So I don't know if that's saying turns remaining. Maybe it is. After 3 turns, these are going to disappear like I thought they would. So we'll go from there. Let me just get him positioned. And I can't really attack out anywhere, so we're just going to execute that, move him up slow. This is our slowest beefy boy right now. These other 2 can move around quite a bit. You can see our range.
So that's the kind of other interesting thing about this is that it doesn't it's not like Into the Breach, and it's not like a Fire Emblem in that you move and you do a single action and that's your turn, or that's that unit's turn. That bar that Bobby is filling up, you can see the down there at the bottom where it just moved. That had so much of a chunk of that bar, his number of actions that he can do per turn, and that bar is a single turn. So even what this enemy is doing here, are those 3 separate attacks?
Yeah.
So that enemy was able to move and then do an attack and then do an attack and then do an attack based on its action bar, based on how many action points I guess it can make.
Yeah, so I could do that as well. I don't want to move currently, especially this mech, because that's one of the things that in the first boss battle, they had this kind of, I don't want to call it, it's not Overwatch, but they will do an attack right away that does not count against their other attack stats. So all of this is going to get blown to fuck whenever he starts up. So what I'm going to do is hang tight. And I didn't realize it. I thought I'd have a little bit of cover with this mountain out here, but he just flew right through it or walked right through it and
Yeah.
and did an attack there.
Here's a question for you: can you move, then shoot an enemy, and then move again,
Yep.
or is a movement okay?
Yeah, I have complete freedom on how I want to do that. So like some cases I'll move, attack, cool down. Other times I'll cool down, attack, move. And then it just really depends on what's going on here. So I know that this thing in front of me is going to probably attack this mech, which so far I probably want to pull aggro with him because I think that he can take the most of the hit here. So I'm going to keep him where he's at. I am going to take advantage of being on this cool tile, and I'm going to just lay into some attack patterns here. So I'll stick with my primary, and I'm going to just get 3 things on it. Now, the other thing to note is I'm heating this one up also. So my attack,
Sure.
I want to get him overheated because then he's going to be in a more vulnerable state for me to do more damage on us. So I'm going to keep working on him. And
So would it not be advantageous for you? And just if you are standing on a tile, one of those fire tiles, that will naturally heat you up, right? But you'll also take damage from it.
if I overheat, now this is the one thing to note also, that berserker that I called out. So this unit doesn't take as, it can take more damage from enemies, but it takes 75% less damage from itself. So I'm still going to put it in a vulnerable state to overheat it, which I don't want to do. So I could, like, let's just say that I wanted to change it up here. I could select him. I could move over and get off of that tile, and I still have this bar. I got quite a bit. I probably could get 3 hits off still.
But yeah, but just the idea that you could, that if your goal here is to overheat this mech because you'll be doing extra damage when you're in the overheated status, you could, and I'm not saying you should, but you could move on to one of those fire tiles and get some natural heat that way, in addition to the heat you're generating from your attack.
I could. Not on this one, though, because I couldn't effectively get near him. I could go over here, I suppose, and have a little bit more of an attack range, but he's going to be all this red here. So only these are the fire. Like, he's going to do a pretty big damage. So if I moved up here closer to him, I could move over here. So if I moved this way, I would be on a fire tile, and then I could heat him up like
Yeah.
that. But I'm not
Okay.
taking. I still
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that at this stage in it, I'm probably going to focus on just doing some damage right away.
Sure, yeah. Getting 3 attacks and just naturally getting some of that heat up by doing attacks makes a lot of sense. I was just interested in
No,
more
yeah,
mechanical thing of
100%.
how some of that stuff works. It's
No,
also interesting that they show up there at the top the heat gauges for the enemies, so they
yeah.
also have to deal with heat. That's kind of cool.
Well, I want him heated up. I want because if they're heated, I'm doing more damage on them, and they're doing damage to themselves. Same rules apply to them.
Okay, but don't you also do?
Yes.
So you take more damage when you're overheated, but you also deal more damage. Correct.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Same thing for them. So he's now at 270 of 800. If I hit him at 800, he's gonna become more vulnerable, and then I can do like a damage phase on him and try to avoid it. So that's like the hit and run shit. So he's at the same level of health. No, he's less health. Okay. So we're gonna look at this, and we're gonna do some damage there also. Get him going.
Just some beefy boys.
Yes.
I
Big
guess
time.
once you get them heated, then you start doing more damage, so it goes a little bit faster eventually. But seems
And
like it's starting out. You're just kind of poking at each other at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a little slow moving, I think, for the time being. That's a pretty big move. I don't think I need to do that. So I got a new gun, and you can see the pattern here is an X pattern.
Okay.
He was using a sniper. Now I'm going to get close to overheating here with him. I'm in a warning phase, but we're okay.
Is this the guy that does more damage when he's adjacent to enemies?
No, that's my dude down here. That's him.
Okay.
So there's his big attack.
Yeah, he's now super heated at this point.
Oh, that's interesting. He pulled that attack when he was invulnerable at that state because of the core I have on him. Very cool. All right, that guy's... Ooh, shit. So you can see now that they've got quite a bit of this board covered. So we want to get him out of the way.
Well, what does them having it covered do?
That big attack that they pulled right before their move. It's a high damage attack. So that's
it's just gonna. Okay, so every turn they just do that automatically, or is that just an option?
Well,
okay,
that's an option they got. So he has his because he's already shown it. This guy up here just did his as well. So they've got this whole segment now. All these kind of like darker red tiles are going to fuck us up because if we're on it, we're just can't get around it. So I want to make sure that I'm not on those tiles. So we're good down here, and I could take a little bit of damage and cool off, and I'll probably do that. I think that's the move. So I'll move here, and then I could... I'll just do more damage because I don't want to heal up right now. So we'll do a little bit more there. It's weird the music stopped. It's just sound effects now. Same thing here. I want to make sure that I'm just going to keep trying to do as much attacking as I can.
Sure.
I am on a heat spot though with him. I wonder if I moved over just a little bit, if that would be a better move. Let's do that. So I'm not doing the core damage with him because it goes down slightly on that tile just beyond the impact point. But I would rather be away from these heated up tiles. And now, unless he moves over, because he's moving in a straight line is what I've picked up on, where he's being a little bit more aggressive with it. So I'm going to go back again to just attacking. And we're getting really close on getting him fired up here. So that's good.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you that there's like 4 or 5 different mission types. And these boss battles have been straight just, let's just fight as much as we can. Oh, yeah, he did 2 of those. So he overheated. He did more damage on that hit, but he's taking more damage now as well. And I wonder if that guy's cooling off tiles with his... I wonder if that's what's happening. Okay. So we might want to look at healing a little bit here. And I think this is my support guy. Nope. Never mind. The one support mech is not in a good spot to do that. But I also want to... So he took his damage. We got him under halfway now. What if we moved down here and just did an attack like that?
The Vulcan's lost all of his heat at this point. Is that because of his big AoE attack that he just got rid of all that? Okay.
Yep.
So, okay.
But we got the damage phase in, which is cool. And I could focus on this guy now, which...
Yeah, I think it usually makes sense in games like these
bounce around a little bit.
To just focus on one enemy and to get them out of the way, because then you're only taking one hit per turn instead of two.
Right. I would agree.
And I guess in this game, when you're able to put heat on people by attacking them, you're able to stack heat probably more effectively by getting everyone to attack in unison.
So he's invulnerable again. So that's a new thing. I got to figure out what's causing that on him. I think it's the core that I put on him. But this is pretty cool because I did 3 attacks in a row, and I don't know if it was because it landed, but that first hit we were invulnerable to, which is nice. All right, so we went down there. I want to move you here. Let's just attack again. One thing I think Go ahead.
Is your damage persistent between battles? Like any damage you take here, are you going to have that same damage for the next battle?
Yeah, but I don't remember if it resets when you move to sectors. I think it might. And we're going to that next one. You can heal up at the stations, but it is persistent damage, to answer that more directly.
Okay.
Let's get you out of the way and move you here.
Because this is interesting. I kind of hate continuing to compare this to Into the Breach, but
how do you not?
I think they're just, I think they're making it too easy, or they're inviting that comparison, really.
I would agree.
Into the Breach feels like a game that it's almost like a ballet at some points, where you are able to play that so perfectly that you're often not taking any damage or manipulating the damage in such a way that it is really mitigating things. Whereas this game so far, and I guess it does have a healing mechanic, so maybe that undercuts a little bit. But it seems like a lot of this game is it's not avoiding damage. It's more mitigating damage than it is avoiding damage completely.
Yeah. And I did, by the way...
You're meant to take damage in this game.
Oh, 100%. That's a big...
It's just using damage in an effective manner that, hey, maybe I'm on one of these fire tiles, but I'm using that. I know I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but I'm using that to get an advantage later.
And I did increase, I don't know if you noticed it, but I moved the enemy speed up to the highest tier now. So their phases are going to be a lot faster just for the sake of our stream tonight to get a little bit more action.
That's useful.
Let's see. So we'll keep...
Is there friendly fire here? Can you damage your own guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to avoid that as much as I can. Oh, he's almost...
Although I suppose it's possible that you could intentionally damage yourself to get more heat to make your other attacks stronger.
That was interesting. Provoked that.
Well, you've got him overheated now, right? He's at 800. Is that what Rock that.
But that's what. Yeah, so he just shot it all out. All right, we can kill him.
Yeah, take him down.
One hit there, and I can
Nice.
actually
Yeah,
do 2 more like that.
I like that.
Boom.
Oh yeah, he took a ton of damage on that attack.
Yeah. So we got rid of him. Now I've noticed also, and it might just be his design, but he's a lot. He doesn't heat up as much.
The jet guy.
The jet guy. So we're gonna.
Yeah. I mean, he is blue. Maybe that's something having natural cooling to him.
I think that's probably fair.
Hover back over the jet guy. It was showing some tooltip there. Receives damage and freezes surrounding tiles. Oh, that's just his. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and that's his attack pattern. You can see that there in his movement. So he's pretty versatile. I want to get him out of the way though. I want to move him over here. Wait, did his health just go all the way back up? He's healed back up again.
What's up with that?
I wonder if that happened from him dying. If that was like a...
Could be. Maybe it's like a rage mechanic.
Yeah, because he's got that around him now. Also, I don't know what this is, but he's got that blue aura going.
I think that's going to be that freezing thing that was in the tooltip. I think he's going to freeze a bunch of tiles around him.
Okay. Do that.
I mean, his boss title changed. He went from Boreas to Storming Boreas 2.0.
Oh yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that. Let's do that.
How much time do you think you've put into this game, Bobby?
3-ish hours at this point in time, I think. And I think it's probably fair for me to call it out right now that like I'm not. God, my guy's not doing good. I need to get him, and he's my healer too. I don't think I can do anything about that.
Unless you can hit this guy with everything you got and take him out this turn.
Well, what I want to do right now is I want to cool down and I want to move. No, I want to cool down once and I want to move over here. Just get him out of the way for the time being.
Well, before you do that, what if you? Because you're also going to just attack with the other 2 units, right?
Yeah.
What if you attack with them first and see how much health this guy has left?
And then do it.
And if he's down to like a sliver, maybe your guy can just finish him off before he needing to run away.
I kind of want to see if I can move over one tile really quick. It's going to take away from some of our attack, but I should be able to hit him directly. It's so weird the music stopped.
Yeah, that is odd.
I'm going to get him out of here.
I don't think you've got enough.
We're going to cool down and we're going to move over there. Try and save him a little bit. Okay, because I don't want to lose. Oh shit.
Well, yikes. What the hell happened there? He just self-destruct?
I don't know what happened there. I don't know if like the blast from my guy dying there did that. Huh. But we did get a new module. And so I've gotten a few of these that's like, hey, you'll get it on your next run. While we get here. So is this person gone forever? Oh, we lost. Oh, fuck, I lost my good pilot. I didn't realize that was one that blew up.
Did you lose? You just lost one? Or did you lose 2 pilots?
I think I lost 2. I think. Something weird happened there, because I only lost 1 pilot. That was it.
That's what I thought.
Well, we get to pick a new one. So
okay.
We're going to replace. We get to choose one to replace here. So let's take a quick look here. They are going to be level 3, which pretty good. This is nice. If we really wanted to build out like a support unit, we could cool down with Noah. Or This is pretty neat too. I think this is broken as shit, potentially. 10% discount at shops, that's helpful. Stacks with other discount bonuses. Also, recover an extra 10% health at the end of each mission. I like that one a whole lot. Where Noah's going to inflict 30% heat on enemies.
Seems pretty good.
I kind of think that Hayase might be a better fit, but I'm gonna default to you on this one, Chase. Who would you like to see on our team?
Yeah, let's see Salazar. It seems fun.
Okay.
So that battle, that was a boss battle.
That was a boss battle.
I imagine because it looked like her perk there was that she reduces some heat after eliminating an enemy, and eliminating those two enemies took you a long time. But in a normal level, you'd be taking down more enemies per. Yeah. Okay. 100%. So that's a more useful thing.
That is the only type of battle that I've done 2 bosses now, and those are very long-winded, very just like there's not a whole lot of movement and strategy and like building momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll show off a little bit more of that here. We do get to pick a new weapon, so either a support one, which is a space warper. I might have one of these. That's one thing I wish it would show is like, hey, you already have one of these in your inventory. And then, or a long range shot that hits a single target, dealing massive damage. This atomic cannon. That one sounds pretty good.
Sounds great to me.
I think we're gonna go with that one. So we move on, and let's see if it answers your question. I think it does. When you warp to the next sector, take care of our health, and it does. So everybody's back full health, and we can move ahead a little bit. Now I haven't seen a green station yet. I'm thinking that is still just a shop. These asteroid clusters are, god damn it. Whenever we would play the Hell Train game, I'm talking about
Monster Train, yeah.
And you would go down in the cavern, and you would be like, "Hey, this is," or it's like an event.
Oh, these are like chance time kind of things.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's what these are here. So, and then anything that's just a planet is going to be a battle.
Okay.
You can see different types on these. It'll let you know. So these are going to be defense missions.
Mm-hmm.
Same for both of them.
No. One was destroy generators.
Oh, sorry. I meant destroy the generators. Okay. I think I want to check out this path here.
At this point, it doesn't matter. You'll hit them both.
Let's destroy the generators. We'll get a new core. Okay. Oh, that's the other thing I can see. A weapon. I don't have a lot of core stuff. I got plenty of weapons. So let's try and get a new core. Let me check out the hangar, and we can outfit. So this is the other piece of it. There's a whole lot of tinkering that you'll get to do with each one of your mechs. And so if I came down to this, I can change my pilot's name if I wanted to also. So we can change the name out. And then there is, I think, an option. If I go into this here, I can't remember where it's at. There's a whole mech customizer. But anyway, I want to put that new weapon on. I'm gonna put
that atomic cannon.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put on our main person here. Okay. So we'll select that out. Firemonger. This is a proton X gun. That's that new one. Receives a concentrated shot of massive. I was trying to see why they got that buff, but we'll never know. Feeling pretty good about that. I could put a shield on if I got anybody who's pretty squishy. 50-50 that. So she's real strong too. I think that's pretty good. Let me go back to my hangar. Got a new core here. Less health. Could put that on. I think we'll keep the cores the same. I like the space warper. That could be a better one. Let's put that on you. Okay. Increase a little bit there. And let's destroy some shit.
Sounds good. Bobby, while you're playing this level, let me tell you. So yeah. we recently saw the Batman together.
We did.
which was enjoyable. I had a good
Yes.
time with that film. And despite my general fatigue of superhero stuff, watching that movie did reinvigorate a little bit of, hey, you know what's cool? Batman. Batman's kind of cool.
Batman's the coolest.
So I thought, what if I continued watching Batman?
Oh,
So the first thing I decided to do to sate this renewed interest in Mr. Vengeance, Mr. the Knight, I decided to rewatch, because I've seen it before. Rewatch the 1989 film Batman.
you're talking about
Talking
Tim,
about
Tim Burton Batman.
Tim
Michael
Burton.
Keaton.
Talking about Jack Nicholson. Yeah, I'm talking about those guys.
The first movie I ever saw in a theater.
Really?
Mhm.
1989. Interesting. I mean, I was being born around that time, so not for me. I think Jurassic Park was my first time going to a theater, which I was way too young for. But you know, like
you could
I was
argue the same
like
thing about Batman.
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But yeah, I'm like 4 years old and I like dinosaurs, so my parents were like, oh, let's go have him watch Jurassic Park, and he's like, I don't know how I wasn't scarred for life with that movie, but still one of my favorite films. Anyway, the Batman, or not the Batman, sorry, Batman, 1989. It's okay.
I think visually, at times, that probably shows its age a lot more. This is moving pretty. You want me to slow that? Should I slow that down? Is that too quick?
Yeah, it's probably maybe a little quick. Honestly, visually, I didn't have a problem with it. I think there are some pretty good visuals. The Nicholson makeup for the Joker is still pretty darn fun. There's a scene where he cooks a guy with a buzzer, and that still looks pretty good. I mean, it's not convincing, but it looks good in the way that you want it to look good.
Sure.
I thought visually it was fine. It had some weird story moments to it. There's a lot of Batman killing dude, or like not fit. Like you don't 100% see him like pull out a gun and shoot a guy, but there's a lot of like that. Those guys died. Those guys definitely died because of what Batman was doing to them.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah. But like I thought that was I know Batman's like a no guns guy, but I thought he was also mostly a no killing guy. And and this Batman didn't seem to care. This Batman, like, I can't. Did he like throw a grenade into a guy or something? Like there was something where it's like clearly this man is dead. An explosion happened. Like Batman kicked this guy into.
He kicked the highlights out of his hair.
Like he kicks a guy, this guy goes in or gets kicked into a building, and then the building explodes, and I'm over here going like, Batman just killed the dude. I thought that was the whole thing, like Batman doesn't kill guys. It was fine. It was an enjoyable movie. Last night though, I rewatched Batman Returns. What was that? 1993, 92, 93.
92,
Also Tim Burton. This time, Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Christopher Walken, Michelle Pfeiffer. That movie fucking rules. Still rules. I don't think I have any problems with Batman Returns. It's
very good.
It's interesting. You asked me directly after watching the Batman what I thought the best Batman film was.
Yeah.
And I hesitated. I didn't, because I enjoyed the Batman. I don't know if I want to say immediately like, oh, obviously it's this one. I know The Dark Knight is a popular choice as well, and I like that movie. It's fine. Batman Returns is really fucking good though.
So there's an interesting thing about that, and I can't remember. I thought, well, we talked about this in the car after the movie. We can talk about it here. What Batman Returns did, and there's a pretty big shift after that. If you think about, like where the Joel Schumacher movies went after Batman Returns.
Right, and I'm planning on rewatching those, and I think I'm going to enjoy them because of their badness. But I am not prepared to have a good movie-going experience rewatching those films.
Well, I think they're so different, right, from what you were getting. And like to your point, there was a tone that, I mean, like them or not, like that movie was confident in its tone for sure. And
definitely.
So there was a pretty big toy campaign that happened at McDonald's following.
Oh, I've got all those toys. I've got all those fucking toys.
And that helped me out quite a bit, actually. That didn't, though. Shit.
Uh-oh. We talk about Batman one time, and this guy over here.
Woo! Okay. So all I need to do is survive with my good pilot, because we lost a level 1 down there. But the good news is I just need to take out this generator. So let me see if I can do that. Yes. All right. Batman Returns happens. Fucking weird. Dudes getting their nose bitten off. Penguins, black ooze, eating raw fish.
Oh, so good. Just watching Christopher. It's almost a shame that it's a Batman film, because I just want to see Christopher Walken and Danny DeVito just talking to each other in a movie, because it's so good. And it is almost a shame that they have to be talking about Batman stuff, because I kind of just want them talking in general.
Yeah, I get it.
They're just so good at it. They're just so entertaining as people.
They're fantastic at it.
That was an excellent movie. And I remember Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman being weird, but rewatching it, I feel like I understood it more and could appreciate what was going on, and that her life was in. You can't do that, Bobby. That's the stream.
Whoops. We'll bring that right back.
And Bobby's just rage quitting now. He loses 1 unit and he's done. He's out of here.
That's
but yeah, she's having a bad time in that movie, and I kind of get it that she snaps and goes, you know what? What if I just took control and become Catwoman, feminist icon, murdering dudes?
Yeah,
she's great. She's great.
She's really good.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. I would agree with you on that.
I also need you to resend me the stream as well.
Ooh, yeah, that would be helpful, right?
Good nerd.
There we go. I was trying to find. I can't remember where it's at. There's a way to customize the mech, and I wanted to show that to you. I don't know why I don't have. It's not that. Can I replace?
Anyway, you were talking about post that movie, toy stuff. Sorry, finish your thought on that.
Yes. So McDonald's basically called Warner Brothers like, hey, we can't keep fucking doing this. That movie's weird. We need to figure out a better solution for these toys. We can't keep pushing these toys with the way Batman's too dark. He's not fun. And that's one of the reasons why Warner Brothers switched directions, and the power that Mickey D's had and the toy market had over those films is a big bummer. And
you're right, but like another thing that I don't know if it was directly related, but we also got Batman the Animated Series after that very much takes the Tim Burton style of Batman and I think makes it more kid friendly, but also keeps a little bit of the weirdness and a little bit of the fun, maybe less appropriate fun, but fun that those films were going for. And I know I've seen random episodes of the animated series, but I have not watched the thing from beginning to end. I remember watching more of Batman Beyond than I watched of Batman the Animated Series. But tonight, I just started watching Batman the Animated Series, and I think I'm going to watch it all the way through.
Batman the Animated Series had some amazing toys.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that stuff, like the Batmobile is just the Tim Burton Batmobile. And it is the same Batmobile. And that's great. And I think a lot of the characters seem like they are plucked out of the universe that Burton popularized, if not totally made himself. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I will say the first... the first... Oh, man. Oh, no.
This run might be over.
It doesn't seem like it's going great.
It's not going great.
But yeah, the animated series is... Those first 2 episodes that I watched, which are On Leather Wings and Christmas with the Joker, it feels like a real weird way to start an animated TV series.
I would agree.
Like those episodes don't feel... They don't introduce you very well to the concept of Batman. It just feels like they are starting a Batman show. Not even starting, they're just... A Batman show is happening. It's like in media res of a Batman show.
Fuck. Over.
Yikes. Done. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sold on the voices yet. I know that's actually the thing, is like their voices are amazing. But it's possible that maybe they haven't found their groove from a voice standpoint yet. It's like that is Mark Hamill doing the Joker, right? And he was doing the Joker the entire time. It wasn't somebody doing it at the beginning and then he came in later, right?
I thought Mark Hamill was in it for a good portion of it, if not all of it.
Okay. Jiggy, maybe you can help me since you seem to be a Batman fan in the chat there. Because it's not that it didn't sound like Mark Hamill; it just didn't sound like the Mark Hamill Joker that I know.
Time out. Let's do a quick breakdown. Put a pin in that. I want to come back to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, first defeat screen in the game. So it gives you a run summary. We can see how many different enemy types we killed.
I like that.
It shows what our XP was. So they did make the comment also that it was like, hey, all the pilots are just injured, but they survived. We can rebuild the mechs. And then I don't know what this down here is. Oh, these are the bosses that we killed. So the 2 different bosses that we were able to knock out. Those are those there. So if we continue, elements unlocked. So these are the people that we did get. This is the first pilot that I got. We got a double cannon. We got a 100 pack, an atomic cannon. This is one of the other pilots I got. Ranged attack and atomic. So I think now we can probably... This is where the customization was at.
I see. Okay.
So there's a mother base. Complete your first run. That's how you get that pilot. And these are just other bonuses that you would get. Defeat first boss without having to lose any of your pilots. Oh, cool. So that's how I got that pilot.
Okay, that's cool. Like things to go for
on the runs.
Things to like target. Yeah, I like that.
So this was the customization screen that I was talking to you about. So if I do that, I can now choose my pilots right here from the start. So let's load in, and 20% extra experience gain, which is great.
Hard to beat that.
We'll select that, and then here is the mech and the pack. So we can really when we start our run, we can change that. There's 3 different mechs that we can choose from, and they all have different abilities. This is that first beefy, tanky one that we had.
So you could choose to have
all
3
beefs.
Juggernaut mechs. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
This one's gonna be for you.
Oh. I see. I see what's happening here.
Who's that, Chase?
I think you're going for like a Shinji kind of look.
Yep. There's
Yeah.
also isn't that like the color scheme for one of the mechs you like also?
Probably. I think the stream froze on Discord.
Oh no.
Seems like it's still working on Twitch, but it's not going on Discord.
What about now?
Nope.
Let me try this again.
Okay.
Okay.
Now.
It's that one. So you can change the scheme of what they look
Sure.
like.
What was the other color scheme you thought I would know? The red
This one? This one. It looks to be a cop.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a cop with the red and blues up there.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a Gundam thing. But the red one looks a lot like Asuka's from Evangelion as well. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll let you go on this. I'll keep Batmaning it up.
Yeah, go for it.
But yeah, I think there's just in those first 2 episodes, I didn't feel like that wasn't the cackle of the Joker that I'm familiar with. So maybe that's something that he kind of grows into a little bit. But it seems like a good show that I'm going to continue watching and have a good time with.
Oh yeah.
But I'm also gonna keep watching those movies and probably end up watching them all for the next couple months, I would imagine.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time. I think we'll go with a healing pack on you. Well, hang on a second. I thought that I had a different pilot selected. Here we go.
Were you ever a comic guy, Bobby?
Yeah, I've got some comics right back here.
Oh yeah. That was never my thing. Well, I take that back. I read Sonic the Hedgehog comics, but I never read any Marvel or DC stuff. So when I go see any of these types of movies, especially with friends, because all of my friends are fucking nerds too, because
Yes.
of course they are. Like they will go, and this happens, I would say, probably more with Marvel movies than DC movies. But they'll go, oh, that guy's from this, and he was in this arc, and that arc went this way, and the movie took it in a different direction. And part of me is like, okay, that's interesting, I suppose. And the other part of me is like, I do not give a fuck about hearing how all these different arcs go. It just, comics feel like the most impenetrable thing of all media to me. Like the idea of trying to stay, or not stay current. I feel like once you're into it, it's easy to stay current. But to get into something, it just feels like an impenetrable wall of even trying to figure out where to start. Like, what if, let me ask you this. If I just came from watching The Batman, and I went, oh, you know what's cool? Batman. I would like to read some Batman comics. Where would I even go? What would I do? It's not like I'm going to go back and read Detective Comics #1 or whatever that Batman started in. Like, where do you even tell people to start with that kind of stuff?
So a lot of times, whenever these movies are being made, the internet has been very helpful, but the directors also during interviews, not so much with Marvel, because Batman's never been that big, right? Like it's never been that interconnected to other things. Like they're even trying to do it with Spider-Man right now, like bringing in all these enemies and like having that own thing. But anyway, most Batman directors will say these were the books I was reading. James Gunn is the best at this. James Gunn will tell you, I was listening to this soundtrack, watching these movies, and reading these books when I created this story. And so I think that's a really great like place to start. But for you watching those, I wouldn't go back and like look for a series. I would look for a graphic novel, and that's going to be more contained and a really great point of it.
Yeah.
I think Batman Year One is like arguably one of the better graphic
That seems
novels.
to be where Jiggy-san is also suggesting. He's got an ordered list for me there.
Yeah, I mean, like Jiggy's on it. Like and you know what? I've got every one of those here. So if you wanted to borrow them,
I don't. This is a purely hypothetical thing. But I guess my point is more just that it feels like it's very difficult as a novice fan to know where to even start with some of that stuff, because there's just so many.
It's ironic to hear you say that,
so
because I feel that way when you talk about anime. Like, hey, you might like this anime, or this one could be a good time.
Yeah.
And
I guess I get that, and maybe especially with Gundam, because there are so many different series of Gundam. But I think with anime, it's really easy to say, "Oh, well, thank you, Jiggy, much appreciated." We'll get to that in a second. But with anime, I think it's actually really easy to just say, "Well, start from episode 1, and then watch all 26 episodes." If I would say, "Hey, Bobby, you should watch Cowboy Bebop," you should start with episode 1 and watch all of the episodes. With Batman, it's like, okay, well, which Batman do I pick up? Because now there are all these different types of comics.
Well, hang on a second, though.
Sure.
I could have easily just taken what you said, start with episode 1. And I could be like, hey, that live action Cowboy Bebop's pretty damn good, Chase. What are you talking about?
Right. I mean, that's not... yeah.
It's at that point, though. I mean, like, you could say, hey, you like cyberpunk shit, watch Ghost in the Shell. Like, yeah, I do. Okay. Hey, Scarlett Johansson did all right in that movie. You see what I'm saying?
That just hurts. That hurts somebody to say that.
I'm not here to say it doesn't. I'm just saying that, like, as mediums become more and more recycled, and that's not an anime problem. That's not a Batman problem. That's just a problem. Like, everything's a remake, everything's a retelling, everything's a rehash.
But also to that point, like, I've in this hypothetical, I've told you to watch anime, and you're going out and watching live action. Like, you know those aren't animes. They're based on animes, but you know they're not animes because they're featuring live people. I still understand what you're saying. You come on, it's called anime. Like, the whole point is that it's animated. If you go and you watch somebody live action, you know that you're not watching an animated film, or you're watching Roger Rabbit. Like, those are your two options.
They got me pinned down here.
But I understand what you're saying, and I could see it being adapted to say, hey, I told you to watch Ghost in the Shell, and you started watching Standalone Complex, which is a television series that is based in the Ghost in the Shell universe, but it's not the movie Ghost in the Shell. I can totally understand. And the same way with Gundam. Like, if I told you to watch Gundam, that can mean so many different things, and some people would even suggest that you shouldn't start with the very first Gundam. They're wrong. You should start with the very first Gundam. But people make an argument that, hey, you should start Gundam somewhere else. But it's still... Okay. I guess the other thing with comics, especially if you're trying to stay current, is... God damn it, Chiggy, I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to say that. And if I had the power... I think I actually do have the power to ban you. I'm not going to ban you because I'm benevolent that way, but that's ban-worthy. That's ban-worthy behavior. I just want you to know. That's wrong.
And Jiggy, we are going to answer your AMA, but
we are.
Thank you for what you're doing right now. I see it and I appreciate it.
I've got it pulled up. We're going to get there. The thing I think that bugs me the most in comics, it's probably the coolest thing about comics, but it also is the thing that bugs me the most, is when you're reading a comic and there are the editor's notes. That I'm reading Batman 547 or whatever, and I'm in the middle of that, and it goes, hey, Batman just made this offhanded comment about Lex Luthor. If you want to know what he's talking about, read Superman 846. And I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I don't know what he's talking about, so now I need to go read that, and it's this fucking rabbit hole. It's like a Wikipedia thing of going, okay, well now I guess I need to go get that specific Superman comic, but then I don't know all the context of that, so I actually need to go back and read all these Superman comics, and then there's another one in there that mentions something that, you know, Robin did, and that's going to send me off to another thing, and it's this Ouroboros of fucking comic books. And it's just exhausting to me. I think it's probably also the coolest thing about it is that it feels like this living, breathing thing that it does all point to these things. And it has this incredible continuity, but it also just makes it the most gatekeeping feeling thing I could imagine.
I don't know. I feel, for the most part, it's one of those things that's like, get into what you want to get into. And to Jiggy's point in chat, like, most of what you see on my shelf over here is a graphic novel, which, mind you, is a collection of runs. Like, a lot of these were, not a lot of them, but a good portion of them were told over a period of time. And I like the idea of like a one and done story. Like, hey, I'm going to pick this up and understand what's going on with it and then be content. But
right, and that is the nice thing. There are one shots, or there are, hey, this is the thing you read. I'm talking out of my ass here. I've just heard the name. I don't know. You can tell me if I'm got this completely wrong. I could just read The Court of Owls and then be done with that and go, okay, that was that. Like, that is just the idea that you plop Batman into a story, you tell your story, and then it's done, and then Batman can go and he can do another story. I don't know, maybe Court of Owls is connected to like 50 other different things, but I hear that's good.
It's very good. I honestly, I think that you would find it very interesting, the storytelling there, but that was also from New 52, which this is some comic book shit, and it's not unique to DC, but yeah. You had like Marvel, who would do like the Amazing, and even the video games that we talked about, like,
sure, there's like reboots out the ass, like there's 50 different Spider-Men to your point, and
years, we're gonna just wipe the slate clean, everything's been undone again, and
right,
the Spectacular versus the Amazing and bullshit. Anyway,
because you do get the shackles at that point. It's like you are so confined by the lore of this thing that you have to go, okay, you know what, a whole new continuity. And I guess it's the same for the films, the Marvel, the MCU stuff. It's like we're making up our own canon.
But dude, they're also doing that right now.
Yeah, like they're cherry picking from different things, but they are picking. Well, they're picking the things they choose. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like they said, they're saying like, hey, we can bring everybody. Like anything that wasn't canon is now canon, and I'll tell you what's next for it. Mark my words. Star Wars is going to figure out a way to make that happen. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Peter Parker's got a lightsaber.
I'm saying more like, can we forget about certain Star Wars?
What Star Wars would you like to forget about?
The Rise of Skywalker.
No, Bobby. We've had to forget about other Star Wars to remember this new Star Wars, to make room for this Star Wars. You can't forget about that too. Like, this is the new canon, buddy. Okay, sorry. Jiggy has paid to listen about anime, and we need to give him some fucking anime.
Give the man anime.
Jiggy, I need you to give me a number between 1 and 55. We're about to get nuts.
We get nuts?
As Batman would say.
Hey, you want to make an omelet, you gotta break some eggs.
38. If you want to make a tomlet, you've got to break some Gregs, I think is what you mean.
Ooh.
Okay, this is going to be a good one, Bobby. Have we done this one before?
I don't know.
I don't think we've done this one before. All right, I'm gonna give you the name, and you're gonna say I don't know what the fuck that is, and then I'm gonna give you the English name, and then I think you'll be able to do a lot better. Okay? The Japanese title is Shokugeki no Soma, You have a guess based on that?
Not at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so. What if I told you that translated to Food Wars? Bobby, what is the anime Food Wars about?
We've not done Food Wars.
Okay.
Can you give me a genre?
Sure. Genre, food. Other genre, war. No, that's.
I like it.
It is pretty good. Let me pull it up and get you the official one here. Food Wars, my anime list. See what they say in terms of genres. They say genres are gourmet and ecchi. We've discussed what ecchi means in the past, correct, Bobby? Do you remember?
Is that one sexual?
It's like on the cusp of sexual. It's like a little fan service, a little peek, but like not the whole thing. Like this isn't. It's not hentai. You're not watching pornography.
What's hentai?
But, you know, it's titillating. Hentai, it's Japanese pornography. It's animated pornography. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Hen in Japan is I believe it's weird. So like the idea is that hentai is like weird anime. You know, those funny cigarettes. Yeah.
Hey,
anyway,
you can't describe it, but when you see it, you know it.
Exactly. So genres: gourmet, ecchi, school is also in here, and then I'll even give you that it is a shonen anime. I know that doesn't really mean anything to you. Shonen anime. Jiggy, how would you describe shonen anime? I mean, it's generally I think shonen translate to like young boys. Like this is something made for young boys to read or watch. It was made for the purpose of young boys to enjoy.
It's like a swimsuit edition.
No, not necessarily. Like it's not like, oh, this is to titillate young boys. It's more like it's a more of a demographic thing. Like this was made with young boys in mind. Usually things that are shonen are Jiggy puts it in the chat here, like more action based, like a Naruto. You're familiar with Naruto. Like that's a show about a guy being strong and getting stronger and beating the bad guy and the power of friendship and that's kind of what shonen anime is. Like you'll see that with shows like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. A lot of those things are shonen style anime. Dragon Ball is a shonen anime. So if that gives you a hint at what Food Wars might be about. But what do you think Food Wars is about?
I think Food Wars is borrowing, or I shouldn't. When did it come out again? What was it? You know what? When this aired?
When it came out? Yes, it was 2015.
Yeah. So this got caught up in the craze from Pitch Perfect, but decided to do it with young competing chefs. So think about like Top Chef or Hell's Kitchen Kid Edition or whatever. Like now that's what I call Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And so there's a group touring, like there's basically a bunch of schools that are putting together these social clubs for kids to be a part of that are junior chefs. And with that, there's a lot of relationships that happens in between the grills, if you know what I'm saying. And there is an up and coming event where a lot of these schools are trying to win in order to get a lump sum of money for the school system, but also a potential for scholarships for these kids in high school. And of course, you've got all the different social shit that's happening with these schools. Different class, you know, we're the posh school, you're the poor school. And with that, of course, the poor school really needs the money. They can't come by it. They've got a very earnest principal where you're getting all these bad fucking people involved in some of the outlying schools. So you start to establish pretty quickly what's been happening with these food wars. You come to find out that like this one school has like the best equipment to cook on, like they're doing some really advanced cooking shit, where then you've got the more poverty stricken school that maybe doesn't have the best equipment, but they've got some really important recipes that have been handed down through generations there. So there's a lot more heart, it's more earnest cooking that's happening with it. But they keep just getting this looming effect, like the kitchen's going to close. These kids are wanting to become chefs, but they don't have the resources to really get into it. You've got all the social links happening in between cooking. Persona S, like, hey, let's go out and hit the arcade. Let's go do some dancing. Let's go to the bookstore and come back to it. A lot of altercations, a lot of shit talking happens. They'll see some of the kids when they go to like the city centers. And it comes down to one recipe in this village has been passed down, and the kids are really working on making this like what they focus on. They want to establish this recipe. There seems to be a problem though, because the recipe goes missing, and the elder in the community that has it has fallen ill, and they're in a coma, and they can't pass this down word of mouth. And it comes out that this posh school, these asshole kids who had everything, decided to go and steal this recipe from the community, take it away from the kids. Kids are freaking out, but they do their best to remember what they had. Again, they're limited on their resources. They bring it together. They think all hope is lost. One of the kids that's visiting the elder in the hospital has some of this with them. They're eating it because they don't think they're gonna be able to make it to this competition. The smell of this dish awakens the elderly out of the coma they're in. They get to taste it, say, oh, this is fantastic. It brings back all these things, but you're missing this one thing. They go back to my house. In my garden, I've been growing a certain herb. Grab that herb.
Sorry, you keep saying they. Who's the protagonist here? Does he have a name? He,
no.
she?
No.
They? Like a group?
Just a group kids from the...
Just an amorphous mass of children.
Yep.
Okay.
But they find out that the one thing the rich community doesn't have is this herb that doesn't grow in that community. It just can't. The soil and the environment doesn't produce it. So that is the war. The kids end up getting the herb. They make the dish. They bring it there. They win. Everybody gets a scholarship. School gets saved. Fuck the rich.
All right. I want to say I think I made a fatal error here in that I gave you too much information. I think I set you up too much for success. Eat the rich is a very that's the tagline of the show, obviously. Well done, Jake. I mean, you're not right. You didn't quite make it. But I still feel like I gave you a little too much info that got you closer than I feel comfortable with. I would rather asking Bobby about anime to usually go off the rails completely, so then I can pull you back to reality. And I think you're in the same universe, if not the same galaxy, on this one. So maybe next time I'll make sure to not give you quite as much information, or to be more careful about the information I give you. Okay. I have not seen a lot of Food Wars, so I don't know too much. What I do know, Soma is the main character. He's like a chef at his father's restaurant, and I think like he's a good chef, but he's not all that.
He's not making ratatouille, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And I think like he somehow ends up getting I don't know if he gets a scholarship or he gets scouted enough where he's able to go to the school, like the prestigious school. Like this is where like the good chefs go.
This is where the real cooking happens. Basically,
yeah. And he realizes that, oh, I'm good in my small pond, but I am a tiny fish in this big school here. And so now he has to, because it's a shonen show, he has to get stronger at his cooking and defeat these other students in cooking battles, which it's very much Iron Chef, and I think you were getting kind of close on some of that. The ecchi part, I'm not 100% sure. I know that in this show, like when people eat food, they kind of get into overly animated, orgasmic style reactions, and that's where a lot of the ecchi stuff comes from.
Okay.
Where it's a lot of like, oh, I ate this cheesecake and now I'm making an O face. I think that's generally what's going on with this. Or it's like, oh my god, I ate this spaghetti and like a button on my blouse popped, and it's like, oh, I'm in such bliss. Yes, like it's like, oh, this it's so erogenous. Like eating this food is such a sexual experience that I have become aroused by food. That's basically, I think, what's going on in Food Wars. Again, I haven't watched. I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't know if I need to keep watching this. But I hear people enjoy Food Wars. So there you go, Jiggy. Thank you
Go
for
see
another
a Food War.
Yes, go see a Food War. Man, I kind of wish Jiggy had said 39. Looking at what 39 was. But you know what? Maybe next time we'll randomize the numbers again, and we'll see what we get the next time we play. Ask me anything about anime from Bobby
Hell yeah.
Pease. Man, still
one.
one of my favorite things we do.
Asking about the animes.
Oh, it's fun to watch you squirm. It's fun to watch you improv. It's fun to tell you how wrong you are, and it's also fun to just.
Who doesn't love to tell me that?
It is pretty good, and it's also fun just to talk about some random ass anime, mostly things that I still haven't seen. I actually wonder. I wonder how many anime we've talked about here that I've actually watched, because I would say it's under 50%.
You think so?
I think so. Because when I made this list, it was mostly just me going down some tops lists for different genres and just picking out titles that I either was familiar with or that was funny enough, like names that were funny enough that I thought they would get a reaction from you or lead to fun misunderstandings. Or just picking out like really popular things and seeing what you'd say. But not overly popular things. Like, I'm not going to ask you what Dragon Ball is, because, I mean...
What's a Dragon Ball?
I think you could figure out what Dragon Ball is just from the assimilation of having people talk about Dragon Ball near you. You basically know.
Yeah.
You basically know what Dragon Ball is. You've heard of a
People
Goku.
had tails, they got rid of their tails, they became really strong.
Yeah. See, at that point you would just be getting details wrong, and we can't have it. I need you to get giant swaths of the narrative wrong.
Real wrong.
Yes.
You gotta hate yourself, you're so wrong. I can deal with that for sure.
So how's the strategy game going, Bobby?
Good. Doing pretty good actually. This is we got I think 2 more turns to keep these generators alive, and
got it.
So far feeling pretty good about our odds here. I want to take out this thing, I believe.
Hey Colin, see ya.
Colin, what's up?
You just missed anime time with Bobby. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Food Wars, baby. That generator is not in good shape.
Bobby, let me ask you this question. This is so unfair to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I know what you're going to ask. Would I rather play this or Into the Breach?
Yeah, Is this better than Into the Breach?
No.
No. I mean,
that's
not fair. It's like, subset games makes pretty perfect experiences.
Wait, I thought that was supposed to be only one per stream.
I don't make the rules.
It's
You
turned
made the
on. There's a
rules.
cooldown on it. There's only supposed to be one per stream.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Bobby, I mean, I think that's on you. I think that's on you for not fixing that.
Oh.
We do really only have 10 minutes left in the stream, but that's enough time to do another Ask Me Anime.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bobby. And Colin's already asked for a number. He's asked for 6. So you know what? We gotta stick to it. Again, we're gonna. This is highly irregular, but the die's been cast.
I don't know what that was turned off. It was 1. No.
All right, let me pull this one up. Let me get the my anime list here so I can give you the genres. All right, Bobby, are you ready?
Sure.
Now I don't know if I know the pronunciation of this one perfectly,
Wonderful.
so you bear with me just in case I get the name wrong. But you need to tell me what Aura Battler Dunbean or Dunbine. I think it's Dunbean though. Aura Battler Dunbean is. And let me give you some genres here. It is action, adventure, drama, fantasy, sci-fi, and mecha, which is perfect. We're playing a mecha game. This is a mecha anime. Bobby, what's Aura Battler Dunbean about?
What is the name of it again?
Aura, A-U-R-A, like an aura sphere from a Lucario. That's aura,
Yeah.
like an aura around somebody. Battler, like somebody who battles, a battler, and then Dunbean or Dunbine, D-U-N-B-I-N-E.
What's that?
So that's up to you. What do you think it is?
Okay. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Hang on a second. Let me.
Yeah, no problem. You go ahead and save your generators. We'll be here.
Yeah, let me just get this knocked out really quick.
Let me ask the chat. Chat, has anybody in chat here seen an episode of Aura Battler Dunbean? I'll say that I have watched one episode of Aura Battler Dunbean. I can also tell you it's featured in Super Robot Wars. And that's where I know it from, because I've played those games. It's made by Sunrise, the Gundam people, the Code Geass people, if you prefer, but they're the Gundam people.
So
I think, let me make sure. I think this might actually be made by the Gundam guy himself. I think this is is this a Yoshiyuki Tamano joint? It might not be. It might not be. It is! It is! It is a Yoshiyuki Tamano joint. The man who made Gundam also made this show. If that helps you at all. I don't know if it will help you at all, but that is what I can tell you.
Say the name one more time.
Aura Battler Dunbean.
Okay. So this takes place in the early days of mechs. And at the time, they were trying to establish how to have a relationship with the pilot in its mech and what that would look like. And in the early trials of developing these relationships, it was a neural link that they would establish. So you would go into this mech and they would wire you into it, and your thoughts became actions done by the mech. So it became a very like contingent relationship on that technology. One of the things that happened earlier in this process was it was a very unstable thing. They didn't really know what was going to happen on the other end of these connections and establishing, like, was it going to be your mind that would make it on the other side of this connection, or was it going to be more of an AI thing that would happen? And so it was a pretty big risk for the pilots. Not a lot was known. It was pretty big military secret. A lot of these family members were not able to talk about what the outcomes would be. The first established one where they had a lot of people came on the other end of it pretty fried, where they had to go like weeks at a time with some pretty intensive therapy, both like physical and mental after it. But the first successful established connection, they weren't aware that actually had worked. And it became this like VR, almost like Lawnmower Man esque scenario. Like, think like the Ready, or not the Ready Room, but the Danger Room for X-Men, where when he established it, it really became like a straight up battle for who was going to control what. Was the AI going to win and penetrate into the human mind, or was the human mind going to penetrate into the mind of the AI? And even though this is supposed to be a very, established relationship of good, this battle that we're discussing from the name took place between the first established relationship between a mech and a human mind. And inside of it, there was like these trials that the AI was making the human go through to see if it was worthy of being the savior or the hero, and would the mech become more of the afterthought. And that was this big power play that was going to be the play between the two. Like, was it going to be a situation where the mech came out victorious, or would forever be behind the human pilot? And so this battle's taking place for it. These trials are happening inside of it, basically like exercising these artificial demons, right? For the AI to become submissive to the pilot. And that is what we're dealing with. That's the anime.
Bobby, I think you got closer to describing what Ghost in the Shell is than Ara Battler Dunbean. But
Damn.
you kind of described an anime. So, that's a plus.
Okay.
So Ara Battler Dunbean stars Shozama. Shozama is an ordinary 18-year-old from Tokyo who finds himself summoned to the medieval fantasy world Eiston Well. This is an isekai. Bobby, do you remember what an isekai means?
It's like like you can jump between dimensions, right?
Kinda,
Like,
yeah. Like it's kind of what I just said there. Like he gets summoned to a different world. It means another world, Japanese, I believe. Upon arrival, he's put into service under the ambition Lord Drake Luft, who seeks to greatly expand his power. Those like Sho, who come from Upper Earth, possess strong aura power and are ordered to pilot aura battlers, insectoid mecha designed by a man named Shot Weapon. Let me repeat, his name is Shot. That's his first name. His last name is Weapon.
Okay.
Who also came from Upper Earth. However, Sho's alliances quickly change when he meets Marvel Frozen. That is her name, Marvel Frozen. A young woman who has decided to rebel against Drake's political agenda. As she realizes the Lord's true intentions, the boy chooses to join the fight against Drake and team up with Neil Given, who leads the resistance movement. These names are incredible. The resistance isn't alone. Rimmel, R-I-M-L, I think that's how you pronounce that, daughter of their enemy and Neil's secret love, aids their efforts, hoping to escape from her father's clutches. As Sho finds himself fighting alongside his new comrades, they put their lives on the line to prevent the villainous Drake from taking over Bison Well before it's too late. You know what? I don't think this is a very good synopsis. Or at least it's not a very good synopsis of what I know about Ara Battler Dunbean. Which is basically, they're in these insectoid mechs, which are rad. Like, they've got these exoskeleton looking things. They all look like dung beetles. They're fucking rad. It's medieval times, so everybody's fighting with swords. It's real cool, but also Sho, and I think a lot of these characters have these fairies that kind of hang out with them and are like cute little mascots for the show, but they're also the ones who can teach them about how to use aura powers. It's a pretty old anime. This is an anime from 1983, so it's pretty old at this point. They're fun to use in Super Robot Wars, I'll tell you that. There are some cool looking mechs, and I enjoy them. That's a show I should watch at some point. I know a decent amount just from watching the anime, but it's all right. It's all right. Colin, thank you. It's very funny to do two of these. I know Bobby can stand doing one of these a stream, but two is is definitely pushing it. So this might be the last time we ever get to do that, but it's definitely fun while it lasted. And I'm glad we got to talk about a mech anime during our mech stream. That's so appropriate.
Well, Colin, I'm just happy you're here. And if it means me having to do 2 animes, then I will do 2 animes for you. But
Bobby, let's finish up this fight, and then let's call it a stream. How's that sound?
That is the plan.
Okay. So is this a boss battle?
Yeah, it's the first boss.
Okay. Same first boss every time?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Same thing. So nothing on it.
What's his deal? He just has these big lines of attacks?
He'll do some, and that changes a little bit. He's got 2 little dudes that orbit around him. You can take them out. High health bar. He heats up pretty easily. He's got a pretty powerful attack, though. And he's got something on me here. You can see I got hit this last round. There's still some sort of after effect from that. Not quite sure what's going on with it. But he's powerful for sure. Not to be taken lightly. Let's see if we can get an attack in over here with that. So we're gonna knock him out hopefully and get to that next section.
Okay, he's overheated.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, but he cleared it.
Yeah, he took a big hit from it. Again, we're pretty low health there. I think that is my healer also. No, it's not my healer. I wonder if I can I make that happen? What's my range on healing? Do I even want to fuck with that? Now, let me see here. What's our damage output looking like?
So he only did that big damaging move, though, because he was overheated, right?
No, he had this laid out, so he's going to do it again. And this is one of the attacks. So I was hoping for a little bit more Into the Breach where like you could line up more enemy attacking on one another. And honestly, It's only been in these big boss fights where they have this. So he's going to hit this tank in front of me. That's why I'm not attacking it.
Got it. Okay.
And I think that we are able to end it here. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, just finish him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good night.
This seems like a cool game.
It is. It is. I think the price is $15. I don't think it's much more than what Into the Breach is today. And I don't know.
Well,
like
here's the thing. If you haven't played Into the Breach, you should just go play Into the Breach. But if you have, and some people have put a lot of time into the Breach, I am one of them. And Into the Breach is great, but it does get to a point of like, okay, I basically know everything that's happening. So to play a game that's very similar to Into the Breach, but does some new things, has some new mechanics, throws a curveball at you every once in a while, it definitely has some worth. This is something I am extremely interested in checking out. These games are my shit, and I think if I could sit down and take the time and read all the text myself, I think I would really be into this.
It's a good game. Like, it's unfair to throw it up against. It's not unfair because it's asking for it, but at the same time, I think that this game deserves a seat at the table. I think it's fine. It's got some cool mechanics at it. I like the upgrades. It is a little bit more focused on you taking some damage, but you know, it's one of those things that's it's pretty neat. Really quick before we go into credits, I'm going to redeem some trivia for everybody. I thought that would be fun.
That'd be nice
to get a little trivia in before we get out of here. Where is my trivia at? Do I have it selected? I don't.
I don't see it here. Wow. That's why we had to double up on anime, because we couldn't do trivia. I'm sure somebody was going to choose trivia, but that wasn't.
Nobody wants trivia except me.
I mean, we could always do a Pokemon.
Oh, I'm turning on right now. It won't take
okay, you're getting there. Okay, we'll get there.
Yep, it'll be on in just a second. Boom. Okay. So let me get trivia turned on here. All right. All right, we've got Maybe I'll do 2 cards. But the first question, Chase, is not for you to answer.
No, it's strictly for chat. I'll chime in after I've seen an answer or two that are wrong in chat. If they're wrong, maybe they'll be right. Who knows?
What was the name of the first raid to be released in Destiny?
Oh, come on, hurting me. I'm just gonna write it in here. I'm not gonna hit enter. I'm just gonna write it.
Okay. Jiggy says no idea.
Jiggy doesn't know. I never played this raid. I take that back. I've played it now that they brought it back in Destiny 2, but I never played it in Destiny. I didn't have a crew to raid
Anybody
with
else want to take a stab at this before Chase gets to answer it?
5, 4, 3, 2. There we go.
Vault of Glass is correct, Chase. You win. Next question. What is the name of Shovel Knight's adventuring partner?
I think somebody will get this, but I also have this one. Bob, are you there? I can't hear you on Discord anymore. The chat can't hear you either. I think it's just me. Jiggy, you're right though. I can tell you that it is Shield Knight. Good for you, buddy.
I don't know what happened there. That's strange.
There you go.
Weird. Okay. This is fun. I want to say thanks to everybody who tuned in. I want to say thanks to Chase for breaking away from Portal.
Officially, though, he was right. It is Shield Knight, correct?
Oh, it is. Yes, it is Shield.
Yeah,
Shield Knight.
Good. Yeah.
And sorry, Kid Colin, Kind Colin. I'm sorry. I can't do 3 animes in one night. My body will not allow it.
He could barely do one. I'm surprised we got a second out of it.
So with that being said, we took a break from Portal. I think we'll be back to Portal next week. I feel like we'll be back to Portal next week, right?
Oh yeah, we'll be back with Portal right after we've completely forgotten the controls of Portal. Yep. It'll be great. I'm sure it'll go very well.
Colin, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. So let's talk about the week ahead of us, though. We've got a couple quick looks that are worth checking out. Up tomorrow, a really cool game called Strange Horticulture. Neat little shopkeeping game where you are dealing with the occult plants. So audio might be a little different on that one. I'm still getting a hang of the new setup here, so it's not terrible, but it might sound a little different than some of the other ones. So thanks for your patience there. Wednesday night was going to be a deep dive, but I've started a new job, been playing a lot of video games, and I put off what I thought would be easy to prepare for a deep dive. We're going to do what you've been playing instead, and we'll come back with another deep dive next month, and I'll put a little bit more time into prepping this one and getting it ready to go. But as far as the rest of the week, we've got another quick look for a game. What's up?
I was just going to ask, is Friday also potentially fluid?
This Friday?
I know you were talking. I know you were talking about a game that you were going to play, but I know there's something new. I don't know if we're. I don't know. We can. You can say what you want. Go for it.
What do you mean?
I'm available this Friday to play something, and the thing you're thinking of playing is something that I'm not going to play.
Yeah,
just as an option. I know you've already tweeted it out, so if you want to stick with that, it's fine. I'm just putting it out.
We've got Jason lined up already for Friday.
All right, it's all good. It's fine.
But
you like him more than me. I get it.
No, we just we're gonna get back to a little Elden Ring on Friday. But Thursday, Far Changing Tides. We're gonna have a quick look for that going up, and that is the sequel to Far Lone Sails that came out a couple years ago. Very cool game. Both of those very cool games. So we'll have a quick look on Thursday for Far Changing Tides. So we got a fun episode. What you've been playing. Johnny will be back this week, so we'll get to hear from him on what he's been up to, if anything besides Elden Ring. And we will have a news section that we'll go over, but lots of good reasons to hang out. If you want to tune in and follow along, you can do so by going there. Also, I want to shout out our friend Jiggy, who has been supporting us tonight. Going to be playing some stuff hopefully here soon. And Chase.
Oh look, Jiggy was playing the second best WarioWare game. That's fun.
Fun.
Not the
Chase,
first best, but second best.
Chase, what have you been up to, man? What's going on with you? What do you got to update everybody on?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hear what the first best WarioWare game is, Jiggy and I recorded a podcast, or an episode of Gamers on the Go, my podcast about handheld video games. We talked about the 25 greatest Game Boy Advance titles ever.
Ooh.
Had a fun debate about lots of different things. That is a long podcast, but it's a very fun one. So I suggest you check out gamersonthego.com. There are some lists up there. You can just see the full list of our 25. You can see my list of 25 that I personally prefer.
Hell yeah.
Lots of good stuff there. And then Johnny and I are also continuing to do our Nuzlocke of Pokemon Shining Pearl. We are at the last episode just went out this week, I think, earlier this week, and earlier last week. It's Monday. Jeez, I forgot it's Monday. So you can go check out that. We are now going to start the next episode. We're at Snow Point City. I believe that's the 6th gym. So we're getting real close, or the 7th gym. So we're getting real close to the end, and looking forward to finishing that game. But it's been fun to have Johnny there as we do our first Nuzlocke, and also we lost our second Pokemon in this run due to carelessness, total carelessness. But if you want to go watch that last episode, it's up there on my YouTube channel, Chase K Plays, and go check that out.
Sounds great. Chase, thanks again for being here tonight. Everybody in chat, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the AMAs. And we will be back live Wednesday night with the podcast. But tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central, check out that quick look for Strange Port Culture. Jiggy, peace to you, my friend. Have a good night. We'll talk to everybody later.